Okay, Clinton. It wouldn't connect. And the reason why it disconnected last time was because when my nephew called, the phone's mic wanted to go over to there and it doesn't know to switch back. So that was why the sound clicked out. And then of course, when I scheduled the second one, it wouldn't connect. It kept saying connection failed. So again, it's just me not knowing the technology well enough to just do it. So maybe some of the guys will come over. Just me today. John is actually working. He's very busy today. He's already had either 7 or 8 calls to the resorts with sick people. He said flu. Lots of flu, which is the season, I guess. Plus people flying on planes, basically a big petri dish. So it's hello, everybody. Hopefully this will go. I put my do not disturb on, so it shouldn't mess up with the thing. And if you guys were on the first one and you heard me say something about a certain show, just forget I said anything. John said we signed an NDA, but I thought it was just to not reveal something else, but who knows? They'll probably sue me. So, hey, John. And someone has to support the family. Yes, I've worked long enough, Clinton. He can do the work for the next 50 years and do it. And then he also said to me, of course, because he watched it in between calls, he's like, that shot wasn't flattering. I'm like, I know, I got a little belly. So he's like, we have all the, so I now have you on a tripod. So he's like, just have it a little higher. Actually, I'm gonna put it a little higher. There we go. So, hey, Peter, you're the best. Yeah, I wish. We're trying. So what was I talking about before? Seems like we have some new guys. So Thanksgiving, big week coming up. I know a big travel week for some. We're staying here. Actually, John has a softball tournament Thanksgiving weekend in Fort Lauderdale. I don't think I'm going. It depends. If Jeremiah, you guys know Jeremiah, if he comes for Thanksgiving, I'll probably just hang out here. If not, I'll go down. It's just, trust me, I love watching John play, but that's the only person I want to see play. It's like baseball isn't, I play it, I mean softball, but it's like boring to watch unless you're playing or sitting on the bench, being part of it. So yes, and yes, we were talking about that, yes, and how we're going back to the job interview process or their lack of. Actually, one of the jobs I applied for said they gave you an opt-out if you did not want AI to look at it. So I don't know if that actually meant like a real human was going to look at it. But seriously, what do you guys think? Can you just go in? This is not obviously like corporate America type thing, but if I wanted to, work at a bar or work at a restaurant, do you think you can just walk in now with your resume and say, hey, are you guys looking for help? Yes, sorry, protect trans rights. Always, always. Protect everyone's rights, which are all kind of in flux now, but definitely our trans friends. It is absolutely stunning out. It's just warm enough. And I think I told you guys, our pool doesn't have a heater. Hopefully this week we will get it if the As Bob Barker used to say, if the price is right. So, yeah. So I don't know if you guys knew, I had a really, not good lead, but I had two different interviews with the same company for the creative directors, and I'm a creative director, and this was just for a writer's position. I had applied for the job in April, and then June, end of July, they wanted interview, and I couldn't. I was like, "What is this for?" Like, seriously, it had been so long, and then I had two interviews, like I said, with four people, and went great. I mean, I thought it did. Showed them my work, got along, asked the right questions, blah blah blah, and I asked, like, when are you guys looking to fill the position? And they said a month or so. It's like, oh, okay, that's fine. So after a month, I called HR, who had called me, and I said, hey, just wondering, oh, they're still, you're definitely still in the mix. Don't, we're there. It's a very competitive position. Sure. Okay. Waited another 2 weeks, called again. She's like, oh, she goes, the team is reaching out to you. If you don't hear from them with next steps, and then 2 days later, I get one of those do not reply emails, like, thank you for replying, and I was like, really? So the next steps were, there's the door? So I thought it was a very unprofessional way. After talking to HR probably 4 times, 2 different interviews with 4 people, that they didn't have the professional courtesy of actually emailing me from a person, so yeah, so yeah, we'll see. Relax, you did your time. I know, but I'm not ready to relax. I still want to do something. But I don't know if you guys knew, on like one of the videos, I'm sitting right on the in between the crack of this thing. It doesn't feel that good. This crack doesn't feel good. So, oh, that feels better. Doing the bakery thing, online. You guys know that I bake, and I think it could be really fun, and I'd like to try it, but I don't know. What's the question here? Hey Brian, can you post an inquiry to see if you know? What was the question, Mojo? Talking about hey Brian, can you post an inquiry to see if you know? No respect. No what? Hi Brian, can you post an inquiry to see if you know? When they kicked me out the door 5 years ago, I thought briefly about looking for something else. Then, yeah, I'm not. That was the other thing. Actually, this job was going to be about an hour and 10-minute commute. So it was in the office like 3 days a week, which is fine. But my job, like I said, they're not letting me work remote, even though 50%, probably about 48% of my team already works remote. And I get they want people in the building that they're paying for, and, they don't want to have everybody work remotely. Trust me, I love going in there, but I can't obviously commute 1,200 miles every week. Excuse me. And I actually told them I would work, I would come up once a month, like for an entire week. And they said no to that too. So, all right, what's been my sweet and sour of the week? Yep, and that's what my sister said, Clinton, too. She's like, I think you should talk to an attorney. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. And that's what it is. It's someone younger. I mean, they already moved, shifted everybody. they have a new person in my position, a guy I love and well deserved, and he should get it. You know, I mean, he's younger, but not like 20. He's like, you know, he's probably in his 40s, maybe, I don't know. Probably 30s. Just looks in his 40s. Delete that. Trying to think of the sweet and sour of this week. I don't know. I always say the sweet is when my nephew calls me, and the sour. I really don't have a sour this week. It was like a good week. Work is slow because they're obviously not giving me new projects just because typical projects take 3 weeks and I'm done Friday, Black Friday. And, you know, basically we work 2.5 days this week. And for some reason, our company doesn't give that Friday off. So everyone's working, but I'm going to be like, bye, bitches, on Friday morning. Oh, a nosy comment I found on website about you. I don't know. Sure. If it's something that's not gonna, you know, cause me embarrassment or something. So, this message is held for review. You can open a gym there. Yeah. We go like, yeah, no. I don't think I had actually thought of that, but I was like, not really. That's a lot, and it's a lot to open one, a lot of money to open one and get the equipment and stuff. It's a good idea, but nah, I don't think I want to be doing that much. So let's see what else is happening. So, what do you guys think of the bakery idea? Online cookies. I'm going to have like 5 of my favorite ones, you know. And that's what I mean, just a small thing. And who knows? Who knows how it would work out? You know, all of a sudden I, open a little bakery here. And there are some really cute bakeries here, some that I would like to work at, you know. So I feel like that online and like doing it at home. And it's funny because Rhode Island, you know, when I was looking into like the cottage license, like when you can prepare food in your kitchen, Rhode Island and New England was so strict with, you know, this, if there's a bathroom there, it has to have a automatic door shutter on it, like in your house. And you don't even need one in Florida. Big surprise, right? You don't even need one in Florida. There are certain things you can't do, like you can't make stuff with like cream or something that needs to be refrigerated. So, you know, cookies are great. Yeah, but it's something that's the thing. I don't think it is. It's baking isn't actually tiring to me. You know, it's something I love doing and love trying. I tried a new chocolate chip cookie recipe, and I really like it. But I don't know. Trying to think of like the top 5 cookies that I do, and then that'll be easier. And then there'll be like a seasonal special one that like you can get, or you know, stuff like that. But it'll either be delivery in like this area, or you know, we can mail them out to you. So, hola Jorge. So, hey Peter. So, yeah, and I agree. It is kind of a low risk. It's like, you know, if it doesn't work out, well, my friend's got a lot of cookies if I had any left over. But that's the thing. I'm baking them fresh for the order. So, it wouldn't even be like I need an investment because, you know, yeah, I'd have some extra ingredients. So, I make cookies and, you know, give them to John to bring to work. Look at that sun. Oh, it's glorious. It's absolutely glorious. So, American Hoovian. So, hello, American. So what else is happening? Oh, Wicked for Good. Anybody? And I'm sorry. I'm like one of those kind of crazy fandoms. I haven't seen it yet because John has had to work. We didn't go see it Friday, and then he's worked Saturday, Sunday, Monday, so I won't be able to go see it on Tuesday. I don't know, Clinton. I have to look at that. Shipping out of state. I It was funny because initially John said I can't, and then he looked it up and he's like, "Oh no, you can ship. You can ship there." So maybe you could make a 2-hour sail time. Yes, that is kind of what John said. Like there was a pizza place in Providence that you could make the order on Instagram, and they had say 50 pies, and that was it. And they're done after the 50 pies, and it was so I remember like getting on at noon to like order a pizza for 8 o'clock because they would sell out. I am sick of seeing the show Wicked. So yes, trust me, it is all consuming, all media right now, I think. But Cynthia Erivo, I mean, I absolutely adore her. She's awesome. And, hello, back on, yay. And yes, you can be yourself. You can just be yourself. We saw Sting. Oh, Jesus, Sting. He's so awesome. That is great. How'd he sound? Was he good? That's funny. Yeah, I bet he was amazing. I saw Dating because it was called Schaefer Stadium, the old Gillette. Well, it was the old stadium before they built Gillette Stadium. And I saw the Police, Flock of Seagulls, and In Excess all together. I remember I was like at the top of the stadium. Like they were just tiny little, but you don't care when you're like 23, 22 years old, going to one of those concerts. So I know. In Excess was great. It's still great. Flock of Seagulls and the Police. Like what a lineup. I don't even know how I got a ticket. So it was good though. So what else do we got going here? House is coming along well. Can't show it to you yet. Probably around January. We're looking to get artificial turf in the backyard, which would be nice because it's not grass. I don't know. It's kind of ground covery thing. Cool Met Years. Oh, don't even go, Olivia Newton-John. Ugh. She's like every album I had, and this is when I know I'm getting old. I can't remember if she or Cyndi Lauper was my first concert, but I think it was Olivia Newton-John when they used to do concerts on the Common in Boston, and I went, and she was amazing. And John and I stayed at Cabanas in Fort Lauderdale, and we just struck up a conversation with this guy, Mike. He ends up being, and this was 4 years ago, maybe 5, a person for Olivia Newton-John. And I'm like, oh yeah, sure, you are. And he's like, yup, I'm mentioned in her book. And she's like, she's so nice. I get home, about a week later, I get the Grease photo of her and Olivia Newton-John. She's autographed it to Brian for me. I have it hanging in my office. Well, I had it hanging in my office in Providence. I still haven't finished my office here. And the Grease soundtrack, which I have and know every single song by heart. Another one of her albums and her book. And like, oh my God, she's so, wonderful, wonderful. I could not ask her. I bet you had Stardust. I know. I like, ugh. And it was funny because a friend of mine, Bernard, amazing dancer. Now he's actually a flight attendant for United. Was like he used to dance in Vegas at the Tropicana, and I think she did the show. So he would say she either saw her or he was one of the dancers for her, but I never got to meet her. I regret that. Cher is on my bucket list. I will go see Cher. Like, I mean, I saw ONJ in concert, but I will go see Cher in concert. She has to do one more, you know. So, concerts. Oh my gosh. Can I say John's never been to a concert? And he knows music like every single music. Me, on the other hand, I barely know any music, but I've probably gone to 50 concerts. You know, Janet Jackson, Madonna, Christina Aguilera, The Cars, Van Halen. My music tastes go all over the place. Sure, the Garden. Oh my God. Mike, are you from Boston? Yeah, I remember I saw Lady Gaga on the floor. And when I got out, I was actually South Shore. We're in the South Shore. Because my sister and I still have a house in Falmouth. And I have friends in Hingham. And I'm trying to think of where else. No, I love Cyndi Lauper too. She was just, wasn't she just inducted to the Hall of Fame? Or was it the Kennedy Awards? That I don't want to get into that either. Trying to think. My husband is related to Cher. Her mom married a great uncle. That's cool. I love that trivia. Hey, Dallas. Hello, buddy. Good to hear you. Yeah, I've heard Chris Hausman. You know, that's kind of cool. I don't think I've heard his music though. I've heard of him, and he's a gay country singer. We not live near. It's called the Executive Airport, so it's all these small little private jets that come in. Yeah, Florida is, like I said, it's, what's today, the 20th, 21st? Like I said, I've lost track of time since I've moved here. But I'm sitting outside at 2:30. Unlike in New England, where it would probably be like 25 degrees right now or 30 degrees, you know. It wasn't so much, yeah, I didn't like the cold. As John says, I'd rather sweat than shiver. And I agree. 23 degrees. Eek. So, yeah, no. Pat Benatar, never saw her. Never saw Pat Benatar. Loved her stuff, though. Saw her. Trying to think of who else, like, group-wise. Jay Giles Band. Madonna. Lady Gaga. I saw Lady Gaga before she was, like, the queen, along with Madonna. I'm not dissing Madonna. Lady Gaga performed at Avalon in Boston, where I used to bartend. I was bartending. I don't know if I even bartended that night. But it was her, and she had two dancers. She would play on the piano. She had two dancers. I think Poker Face was the only song she really had out at that point. So the gays were loving her by then. So, you know, and so cloudy in Boston. So another one is Adam Mack. He does a good blend of disco and country music. Cool. Hi, Brian. Bridget here from the UK. I've been to so many concerts, but the one, Dolly Parton, I bet she was amazing. Oh my gosh. You know who I also haven't seen is Bruce Springsteen. Like I'm not like a super fan, but like I heard he just puts on an amazing concert. Oh, and who cannot no, we'll never forget Farrah Fawcett. I actually had that poster in my bedroom when I was a kid. Like why? I don't know, probably because I was like I mean, I can obviously appreciate a beautiful woman. And she was beautiful and you know, she was cool too. Bruce was your first concert. Ah, that's cool. Yeah, Imagine Dragons, I bet would be good. What's the other one? Chain Smokers? Is that the name of them? I like some of their music. Oh, they just and this is again, they were just played at I think the Disney in Epcot at the American stage there. The Beach Boys played. Like it was pretty amazing. Saw a clip from it. I think it was last night that they did it. Like that's like they're older. They're older than me, and they're performing, which I think is amazing. You know, I think that's so awesome. So, all right, what else do we got going on? Anyone traveling for Thanksgiving? Like I said, I'm not. I'm going to stay here in the warm weather. I always say, like, we have John's family's coming for Christmas, which is so awesome. It's going to be so fun. So, of course, we're like kind of, okay, we have basically 4 weeks to get what we can afford to get done in the next 4 weeks before everyone's here. So, the inside's probably around 90% done, I would say. There's still like my office is hideous, but I don't want to put a lot of time or effort into it in case I actually don't need my office anymore. And we could make it like a, you know, another living room or something and take out my desk. But I think you always need a desk, in my opinion. So, and speaking of that, we will be at Disney World when? Oh, have a great day to all. Bye, Paul. Thanks. See you soon. We will be at Disney World. Slow clap. What does that mean? Home, you're coming soon. Hope you're coming. Yeah, I agree, Clinton. It's just like I have the desk, and this way, you know, if I want to do business stuff or whatever, you know, we have the desk between us. We don't need two. We can just use the one. So, you know. What is the slow clap for Disney World? Because you're dreading it, Mr. Bashing to me. Because it is challenging. We have our annual pass, and we've already gone so much since we've had our annual pass that basically it's dreading it. Yeah, I feel you're either a Disney person or not. Why are you going? Family? Is it a family thing that's, you know, that you're being coerced into doing? You know, because it can be fun. I mean, there's like like I said, I've probably gone at least once a week since I've been here, just to a different park. But the thing is, with an annual pass, I'm like, wow, your 50th anniversary? That's awesome. So, family thing. Oh, okay. Yeah, just make it your own. You know, the thing is, like I start to say, with the annual pass, like John and I like went on Halloween night, we went to Hollywood Studios. I had made these other costumes a few years ago for when I was trick-or-treating with my nephew, put them back on. It was like a baseball cap and we had a t-shirt. And it was just fun and easy. We did a couple rides and then we came home. because we're not paying like that full price where you have to go and you end up doing 20,000 steps a day. So I retired 2 years ago and completely dismantled my work desk at home and never looked back. Yep, I kind of look at that. I have one of these desks. It's called a tanker desk. Do you guys remember? It's almost like what you would see in like a factory office, or could be like an old teacher's desk. It's that metal, greenish metal. I love it. I know. I draw, write science fiction, fantasy, adventure stories on Blogger and articles about science fiction, fantasy, show, paint, and collect flashlights. Flashlights, that's fascinating. That's really cool. Because I remember, like, you're talking older flashlights, I'm assuming? Like the cool ones when they were like really made out of metal, and I remember them all. That's awesome. Yeah, so I would, yeah. Because the thing is, I don't know what I'm going to be doing. I could possibly be doing some contract work for the company I'm working for now and get paid twice as much, which kind of blows my mind that that's what they pay the contractors. And, I'd do that, or I'd work for another company contracting, do it here and there. I think it could be fun. Hello, Hamas. Hello, hi. John is still at work. Yes, he's at work till 8 tonight. He has a Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 3 12-hour shifts. So if he's not bouncing from resort to resort, he's in the clinic taking care of people. So, he's very busy today though. He's already FaceTimed me driving back to the clinic that, he was already on his 7th call, which is kind of unheard of. He's usually averaging around 5 a day, so all sorts of flashlight, old, new, used. It's kind of fascinating. I'm trying to think if I have any good flashlights. So, they have to pay more so you can finance the benefit side. What was it? I'm just scrolling back. They have to pay more so you can finance the benefit side. Oh, right. Yeah, no, I know, but like seriously, I'm not kidding. It's like, if I, with the rate that they're paying, it would be over like $250,000 a year. And it's like, you're not giving me that much in benefits. It's crazy. So, right, because even with that, I'd, just take 25% off the top and I'd still be raking it in. But, well, I'm not complaining about getting paid too much. I just hope that they, look for me as a good contractor, because I already know everything about the company. So, what else we got? The yard is coming along slowly. It's a lot. We did some landscaping. It looks nice. Can't show you yet, but it looks totally different than it did a month ago. But now I have to have a landscaper come in, because you can kind of see that brick thing behind us. We kind of dismantled half of it. It was like a chimney thing, and now the brick's laying over there because we don't know what to do with it, and we gotta get one more, or really 2 more collections. A sonic screwdriver collection. Wow. And a Harry Potter wand collection. Yep, we did the wand for my nephew when they were here last month. The 2 other uncles brought him down, and so it was the boys' weekend. There was 5 of us. My nephew's awesome, so I bought him one of the wands. Loved it. 7 years old. So he was so into it, and we've got him into the movies, so he knows. And the funniest thing he does is when he does the British accent. Not me, not Hermione, you. He and, and he bought the wand he picked out was Ron's, like, and my nephew's a redhead, and when we were going back to the resort, the women on the bus said to him, "Well, why did you pick that?" And he had a baseball cap on. He took it off and he went, "Oh my God!" It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. So, why did it take too much time renovating the house and garden? Well, there was nothing done in the backyard. It was just an empty slate. But we moved here. We just moved to Florida 2 months ago, so we had to get the house set up, you know, put stuff where it belongs and put new stuff up, and there's new spaces and whatever, you know. So we, oh, thanks, Aaron. That's cute. But trust me, this is like the first house that I've ever moved in where I wasn't putting a new bathroom in or putting a new kitchen in. Basically, the house was pretty much done. And like I said, the outside is a kind of a clean slate, so we're kind of working on that, making it our own, and you know, but it's good because you can do all the work out here, then I can go in and take a hot shower and sit in a nice room. So no, I didn't do construction work on this house. We're doing construction outside, but you know, that's slow and more like hardscapes, or more landscape than hardscape. You know, well, as I say to John, it's like, yeah, at some point I have to say, no, I'm not doing that. We need to pay a professional to do it. Oh God, they always take more money. It's always costs twice as much and takes twice as long. Like I just, trust me, I just, even the things I did in there, I tried to calculate them and go over it 500 times in my mind, and measure 4 times and cut once, and you know, and it still ends up taking, it's like, oh, you're not drilling into drywall, you're drilling into concrete. So it's like, oh my gosh, like, just like I hung some racks for towels in the porch, and I was like, oh God, this is all concrete, so I'm gonna have to use mollies, concrete mollies on everything, and you know, a job that should take 15 minutes took an hour, you know. So, but I love doing it, trust me. I love kind of making it, so this house was more making the design our own, and like how it worked for us. I can't wait to show you guys the house. It's pretty nice. We like it, you know. All I keep saying is like, oh, I'm shirtless? Oh, that's because I'm in Florida. You know, and when I say I'm not actually a bit cold, I'm actually getting a little boob sweat because it's a little warm. So we are we talked to a couple landscape architects, and then we just started landscaping ourselves. I actually used to work for a friend of mine and doing landscape construction, not like the lawns and stuff. We did all the patios and mulching and all like the more hardscapey stuff. And that gave me a little background on kind of what to do. And you know, John's a workhorse, so he's always up for everything. And so we did a ton of planting, and it looks great so far. Hopefully it'll all take, I keep looking, I'm like, oh God, why is that turning brown? And I have this great app called Picture This, and it identifies the plants and stuff. And I'll look at one and I'm like, oh God, this looks horrible. And it says, this plant is healthy. Then I'll take a picture of one that looks great and it'll say, this plant does not look good. And I'm like, oh God, I don't know. So they've only been in a couple weeks, I think. Maybe 3 weeks. So it's like, all right, they're not dead yet. So, now this architect, the couple that we talked to, they were like, the minimum job, yeah, the helicopter. He's like, the job start at $15,000, and I'm like, yeah, that's not happening. You know, it's already fenced in. You know, it's a big yard. We have a little, strangely and awesome. The backyard is very private. We probably have, because I just looked, because I don't know what I was looking at for the house, for the specs or whatever, and it's just a little over a quarter of an acre, which I'm like, in Orlando, like when you see all these cookie cutter houses right next to each other, yeah, I didn't want that. So we got one that isn't that way. So, you know, I'm very excited. I planted a lemon tree. So we're hoping that that takes. I'm looking at it right now. It's straight ahead over there, in between kind of two other trees, big space in between them. But so, and like I said earlier, we're going to do some artificial turf, and John wants to do that himself, and I'm like, yeah, why do you want to do that yourself? You know, so, you know, hopefully it'll take. I left a little tag on it just to make sure. I gave it its fertilizer. I've done everything I'm supposed to do. Still looks perky and good, so that's a good sign. I think it likes where it is. Now, I'll say one thing here: the soil in our yard, anyways, is very sandy. Like, it's not like I'm used to New England, this black, rich soil. I mean, things are growing. I have this. We were going to transplant a bird of paradise. If anyone knows anything about that, this bird of paradise is about the size of a Volkswagen Bug. In the backyard, it's supposed to get direct sun all day, and it doesn't, and it's huge. And I was like, all right, let's dig up a couple of them and put them over here. Yeah, well, the root system on a bird of paradise is ginormous. We probably dug for 20 minutes, and they weren't even moving, like not even coming close to moving. So I was like, yep, nope, we'll buy a couple. Let those give some good privacy for part of the fence back there. So you can make a compost bin. I know. We're actually saying that. Do you know anything about coffee grounds? Every time I make coffee, I'm like, should I be doing something with these coffee grounds? You know, because I'll fertilize them. I think it's at every 14 days to fertilize them, but I just want to make sure, like, I'm not overwatering them or whatever. A couple of them, like, don't look good. Those orange pink plants, looks like 2 of them are, like, not doing well. I don't know. But because I don't know if we got them at Lowe's or Home Depot. The nurseries here are crazy. Like, the Home Depot has like full-size trees, and you know, and so we did a ton of stuff from them, but they also have a year guarantee. So I saved the buckets, put them on the side of the house in case they die. You can put everything in there. I have it in my balcony. That's like pampas grass if the plant is 3 feet around. Oh gosh, yeah. That's the other thing. We're gonna do the cluster bamboo for like right along this fence, because we want a little more privacy there. There's a privacy fence on this side, and so no one can see. This one has like it's a chain link fence, but there's slats in it so you can't see through it. It's kind of cool. I mean, it's definitely probably from the 70s, but I think we want to put like more so it's like a nice wall of privacy. Because John likes his skinny dipping, as do I. So, but fortunately, it gives us enough privacy now that you're like, we can do that if we really want to, so it's been nice. Is that it? Oh, yeah, that's the fence behind me. So it's not bad. Like it is, as far as, trust me, I'm not a chain link fan at all, but to replace this much fence would probably be $8,000, if not more. So I'm like, yeah, we can live with that. We'll put a natural barrier in front of it. I'd rather that anyways, because behind this we put a hedge of some other plants that John likes. So hopefully those will grow. Those seem to be doing well. I don't know. These ones over here don't seem to be doing well, but we'll see. Hello, you love daddy? So, hey, Paul. So, trying to think of other things that we're gonna do. John, we're gonna get a real Christmas tree because John's like, it's not gonna seem like Christmas. I was like, yeah, I totally agree because, so we'll get a real tree so we can have that smell in the house. And we'll do that. I start to get some decorations out. I don't want to like go too crazy because that's just a pain in the butt to take them all down. We'll do a couple things outside. Oh, you know what I did buy? Because I've always wanted it. And I know it's like really, you're like, oh God, that gun that like puts thousands of stars or like little specks on your house. I always wanted that because I'm like, I'm not like putting lights around the house. I'll put the spotlight on the front lawn, have it do the house. But that's kind of what I really wanted one of those. So I bought one of those yesterday. Real trees are a mess. Just get a good, ugh. No, Charles, I'm getting a real tree. They're not a mess. It's like, yeah, it's not like drop some needles, big deal, So we'll get that, and who knows, it might not be up. It probably, well, yeah, the day after Christmas we'll be taking it down because his family's coming and they're leaving Christmas Day. I think I don't know if John has to work Christmas Day. So it'll be kind of a weird day for Christmas. It'll be fun. And then my sister and another good friend, Carol, are coming in January. I think like the 5th or the 6th, right around there. And they're both semi-retired both semi-retired. So it's like, yeah, you guys can stay as long as you want. You guys have your own rooms. You can do it. If John and I are working, so what? Enjoy the pool or whatever. You can plant trees in the yard. It's just a pine tree after all. That's true. If you can find one with the root ball or the Carolinas, the only sell. I think the ones I looked at yesterday were balsam firs, which I like. Those for me have been the classic. Like we had the tree. I don't think we did a tree last year. We either did a tree last year or the year before. And it was giant. We went to the tree farm, of course, out in Rhode Island. And I think the tree was like 10 feet tall because our ceilings in the Providence house, because it was the old Victorian, was, they were at least 10 feet. So it could fit. This house is probably an 8-foot ceiling. So fortunately, we don't have to buy a massive tree. So, yeah, no, I'm excited to do more landscaping and plantings. I bought a couple beautiful, I think they call them pink lady hibiscus, and they've already like bloomed. Like I've had like 6 blooms already in there. It was stunning. Like I don't know if it's a hybrid model or whatever, but it's it was good. So, well, I'm glad my thing didn't cut out this time. As I said, the little things that you don't know, like John's like, you need to put on Do Not Disturb. No, because I didn't know that. Because I didn't know if someone called, it would try to take over the microphone. So, but it's worth it when my nephew calls. Yeah, it is bad when your thing cuts out. Yes, I hate it when it cuts out. So, again, we'll be making the announcement this week for the next trip. I'm trying to plan the other one as well for next fall, because this one will be early summer. And, I'm in the very infantile stages of that, of getting that. I know, I was thinking that too, to almost put a tree outside, because then we wouldn't have to worry about the needles falling. But I would have to worry about the weather. If it got windy or, if it poured rain, I don't know. I have a whole bunch of like spotlights on the plants for uplighting, and I light them orange, red and green. So, yeah, Charles, we talked about that earlier when the first time I tried this and it cut out. For the salty baker, I'm seriously looking into it because, my last day of work is Friday, and, it might be something fun, and who knows, I could be very successful at it. You never know. It's like, could be one of those crazy stories. He gave up his corporate job to do this. I'm like, okay, yeah. So yes, so look for that, because I'm already kind of half through the business plan, half through what cookies I want to make, half through like an intro video, introducing the whole thing, and so I'm excited. It could be something really fun. So yes, thanks for bringing that up. So yes, my friend, one of my designer partner at work is putting the final touches on that logo, which she laughs at every time because she's like, I just look at it and it didn't look so much like you. So, which I think is kind of funny. So I like it. Okay, everybody needs to start getting ready to order from the, yes, we do. Thank you. That would be fun. So that's the thing. we kind of have a little audience now. We have almost 35,000 subscribers, and if 1% of those decided they wanted to order a dozen cookies from me, what is that? 1% is 350 cookies, like 350 dozen cookies. That's a lot of cookies, that could be kind of cool. But, we'll see what happens. And as my friend Clinton said, I don't have a ton to lose because I have the equipment, I have the knowledge. If I bake them, no one, I'm only baking to order, so we'll see. Hello from the Netherlands. Hello, hello. Welcome. What time is it in the Netherlands? It's today's Sunday, so I'm sure it's Monday there already. Yes, I look forward to seeing my backyard too. Evergreens, It's just a matter of getting the right professional in here to help us do a couple things that we need to do, and rightly so. They're expensive. Everybody's expensive, because we're all trying to make a living. So where do you live, E.R. Canmale? all depends on where you live, you know, because that's like I'm figuring that out too, the shipping thing. Oh, that's right, you're in Turkey. Yeah, that would be a little ways. And then it would have to go through customs, and then they'd probably say no. So I guess you're going to have to visit the United States. I've been to Turkey. I've been to Istanbul. I did a European cruise like 10 years ago. Yes, we are in Florida. We are in Orlando, Florida. The magic city of the world. So I'll just pay you with Wish coins. Yeah. Are you going to live in New England anytime again? Well, building. We still have the house in Falmouth. So, you know, my sister's will be there. She's there all summer. You know, we used to park my mom there too, because she loved it. But you guys know my mom passed away a couple months ago. So we're all very sad about that. But my sisters, who still live up there, so I will be visiting. And yeah, we'll keep that house because that's a family house, so we'll never get rid of that. And as far as the work opportunities, like I discussed earlier, my job, which is based in New England, refused my request to work remotely. So as of Friday, Black Friday, I almost said Good Friday, Black Friday, I will no longer be working there. So I have been trying to find a job, but we talked about the whole AI thing and how impersonal it is, and you basically really have to know somebody. But if anyone knows anyone at Disney or Universal, I would love to work there. Not even care what I do because, you know, I can just have some fun at this point in my life, I hope. So yes, I loved Istanbul. It was beautiful. I did the markets, the Blue Mosque. Please correct me if I'm wrong. So, hey, Christian, what's up? King Triton, yeah, his grandfather maybe. Oh, actually, the white hair and the beard. Yeah, he does have that. He does have that. That's funny. So, have you seen? And actually, I just read the one who does kind of like the adult versions of like the princes in very kind of like sensual positions and things. He just passed away. I don't know. Like he did animation. And some of it I was like, oh gosh. Like I was even like, I can't watch that. Blue Mosque, yes, some other mosque. Yeah. So that's where I was. The Blue Mosque. I just remember seeing that. We're only there for the day because it was on a cruise. So, but I just remember it was lovely. I loved every place I went on that cruise. So, and what do you guys think about that? Like we were thinking possibly a cruise for one of our out loud adventures, you know, could be kind of fun. So, yeah, oh, I'm excited to try something new and, you know, find something new and exciting that it I just feel, and it's almost like this weather and this environment does that for me. Because if you're from New England or anywhere up north, you kind of know that you're going to just be cold and sit home all winter inside. Because my snowboarding, well, I didn't even snowboard because I didn't even have it. My skiing days and ice skating days are gone because I just don't like being outside in the cold. So, yeah, Rob, I think a cruise and our friend Michael Cooper, and Clinton knows Michael Cooper, you know, could help us arrange something like that. So, I hadn't done this yet. Like, that's amazing. Oh, we're your heroes. You need to aim a little higher, Christian. But thank you. That's sweet. That's very sweet. All right, we're gonna probably wrap up in the next 7 minutes because one, I think my phone's about to die. It still has some. We just got off a cruise the day before yesterday, and during that cruise, I was thinking that I want to talk to you about a cruise. Well, there you go. So, yeah, and it's believe it or not, it would probably be easier for John and I because everything's kind of already arranged and done. Where on these trips, we have to book everything ourselves, like John and I. We book the dinners, we book the hotel, we book an excursion, we book this, we book a brunch, we book that, where we can say, okay, this is what we're doing, and it's already done, just show up, and that's all we have to do. So it might be a thing, and and that might be good for like late fall because then it would be warm for people who are chilly. Because if we do a Caribbean cruise or whatever, believe it or not, I'd like to do more of a Greek Isle cruise just because I feel like the Caribbean, while I love them, and I've been on a ton of cruises because I used to be the head writer on Royal Caribbean for their advertising. So I was always on cruises. But I just felt like the Caribbean, like, oh, another duty-free shop, another beautiful beach. Yeah, you get cynical, but it's like they're all pretty much the same. But where in Europe, it's like, oh, we're in Italy today? Oh, wait, we're at Nice today? Oh, wait, we're in the Greek Isles? Oh, wait, we're in Turkey? It seemed a little different, but, we'll explore the possibilities. Yeah, like the Panama Canal. So that's amazing. Oh, you need to know by midnight whether or not to pay for it. That's kind of cool. The 24 of what, December or January? No, I haven't been to the Netherlands. I've been to Australia. But I haven't been to the Netherlands. There are a couple places. You've seen your wedding video a bit late. Oh, thanks. My partner and I, age never really come into it. Yeah, we're the same way. We just click. Sometimes John's like, oh God, he has so much more energy than I do. As I say, John's an old soul. I was born 30 years too early, and so I'm a young soul. So we kind of meet in the middle, which is nice. No, I bet it's a great country. The cruise through the Panama. Oh, we march in April. I bet that's kind of amazing to do. You saw how like it was built. You go through the locks, right? So that's kind of cool. How that works. Why not? Netherlands sounds like it would be another great adventure. Miami to Los Angeles. Wow, that's kind of a cool itinerary. I was trying to think of like where you would go. So you're gonna go through and then, yeah, I see that. How long is it? 16 nights. Wow. How long does it take to get through the canal? Like 5 days. So, and I wonder how big a cruise ship they can take. So, forever young, Dallas. Don't I wish? There are some days that I'm like, oh my God, I am so friggin' old. And then there are other days that I'm like, oh my God, let's go, because I feel great. So, this message is held for review. I always wonder what those are. Do like people say bad things or something? Or risque things? So, oh, I can view message. Ah, it was Yummy Daddy. That's fine. Wow, that's interesting, Clinton. Wow, that's kind of cool. Like they think about that stuff. So, oh, so I don't know. They have the questionable Yummy Daddy. Can't be insulted by that, right? You know. So, well, I'm looking around the pool, and I think I have to get the blower out because there are a couple trees that are, I don't know, it's like the trees don't change color per se, but some of the leaves fall off, and I don't have one of those big screens over the pool, which I don't like anyways. So, Christian, we'd like to travel more, and actually, starting in January 1, we both have buddy passes on United, so we will be taking advantage of that, especially if I'm doing my bakery from home, so I can basically, or if I'm even contracting writing, I can write from anywhere. I can, we can travel anywhere United flies, and I'm very, very, very excited about that. You know, because the way John's schedule is, you know, he could have 5 days off in a row, and we could just pop over to London, you know, for a spot of tea with the Queen. Oh God, it's such a bad accent. They say big screens are for keeping out. Yeah, we're not near water though, so I'm not worried about that. And believe it or not, I have not been bitten by a mosquito since I've been sitting out here. And even at night, I don't think, I don't know. And I agree. I think it's weird that there's not really any bugs. I'm not complaining, trust me, because I would sit outside at Providence and they just love me. I would get mosquito bites that big. It's horrible. But here I haven't yet. So I'm excited about that and hope that keeps up. Yeah, that's right, because we're not near water. So I'm not worried about that. And plus, the entire yard is fenced in. It would have to, like, come up the driveway and go through the garage and then come through the dining room to get out here. So, yeah, no, I know, probably, to make sure I don't do that. So, all right, 5 minutes. We got 5 more minutes, and then I'm gonna head off because I should do some work, even though I just would rather be talking to you guys all day. So, you know, yes, of course I need a pool boy. But actually, I do. My pool guy is awesome. He's so awesome. I love the guy, you know, and he's helped me with other connections of like a landscaper and an electrician, and you know, so he's very, very, very helpful and a good guy. So, you know, you'd only bite me gently, Alex. Only gently? What the heck? What's that mean? Heath, we don't have it yet. Stay tuned. It's coming very, very soon. You know, I will. I have to actually set that up. But like it'll be coming. I wish I could do. I wish I had it ready for the holidays because that would be a good thing. But you know, I've said that I've heard that the cookies are very good. I trust me, I like them. But the guys that when I come on the trip and I give them all a special package of them, kind of gush over them. So, you know, so hopefully everybody will. You know, that's the goal. Cause I'm like, yeah. And I have my mom's mixer, and so my mom will be with me when I make all the cookies. So I know they'll be made with a little extra love. So. Yes, team out loud. Go. Yes. So, what else we got going? I know we kind of touched on Wicked a little. I'm going to see it this week. I don't care what you think. You know. No, we don't. So, she would have been 100. Yep, 100. She died in June and July, August, September. Yeah, so she was less than 3 months away. Christian John and I have been together a little over 7 years. Yep, 7 years, 7.5 years going on. You know, so that's been awesome. We just got married in May. He actually proposed to me. I'm like, you're crazy. So, hello, Euroshark. Oh, I like your name. So, hopefully we just make you guys happy. That's all I care about. You know, we're just doing this to have fun and bring awareness to everybody and bring some people together. Again, when the website, we have our website, outloudjb.com, so check that out. It'll have trip information coming up. Also, if you want to reach out, get on our mailing list, it's outloudjb@gmail.com, as I say. Outloudjb, as in John and Brian, at gmail.com. So if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, as I say, reach out and let us know. Yeah, I hope we portray a fun couple, because we really have fun together. We really love each other. It's so unique and so gratifying for me. So I count my blessings every day. So on that happy note, I'm going to say bye, guys, and don't forget to live your lives out loud. Bye.